All right, what's up? Today I want to talk about the topic of DBD being a competitive game or a party game. And this is a topic that gets brought up a lot when we're talking about balance issues. Or some people would say, well, the game shouldn't be balanced because it's a party game, or the game should be balanced because it's a competitive game. And I asked to poll this, and it was 24 people. 50% said party game, and 50% said competitive game, which is crazy how it's a 50-50. And this is going to support what I think, and I think it's a mix of both. I think it's a party game and a competitive game, but I do think it leans more on competitive, and the reason for that is because just how competitive works, right? When people go into a match, they want to win, and the fact that majority of people who go into a game of DBD want to win, and they play in a way that they just want to achieve their goal, I think makes it a competitive game. Now, I don't think it makes it competitive in the same way like a game like Call of Duty is, because it's not balanced like Call of Duty because it's asymmetrical. But I think it's like a competitive game in the same way that Halo is. And if you ever play Halo like I did, you know that custom games exist. And in custom games, you can do a lot of goofy shit. And then you can choose to play the casual mode, which is, you can play serious. Now you might say, well, that's casual mode, but people are always going to play casual modes in a competitive way. If you play Overwatch, you go to quick play, people are still going to play kind of sweaty and quick play. It's normal, it's human nature. And people think that for it to be competitive, there has to be a ranked mode. But even in games that have a ranked mode, people don't play in the normal mode in a casual way. Like they're expecting to, but you're still gonna try to win. And that's normal. Like even I go into this game wanting to get like 3 to 4 kills or wanting to get escape or do my challenges. It's normal. And where the party game aspect comes in is the game modes that have been doing. And the reason why I think it leans more on competitive is because you don't see those game modes a lot. The only way you can make this game a party game is if they made a separate queue that has the modifiers, or if it was easier to make custom games in a way that you can modify it to make it more goofy, where people can make custom modes like in Halo. And I think because of because of the limitation of the modifier modes or just game modes, because that's what they're called, the game leans more competitive. And people are always gonna say like, "Oh, well, it's not competitive because no rank mode and there's no stats." But I mean, there is a website that people made to keep track of their stats, even though it's not in game. People made an actual website to keep track of that, which is crazy. But that goes to show how competitive people are in this game. Now, competitive doesn't mean when I say competitive, I don't mean like comp TBD where you're playing so hard that like you have money on the line. I just mean like you go into a match wanting to win, and that's normal by nature. When you play a PvP game, you're going to want to win. That makes sense. Like if I go play Street Fighter right now and play the regular mode, I'm gonna go against people who are playing competitive just like I am. Competitive just means that you're just trying to win, which in DBD everyone's trying to win, or a majority of people are, which is normal. Another example I want to use as a mix of a party game is Overwatch. In Overwatch, you can play casual mode or you can do the custom game mode. And I think DBD kind of sits in that same area where Halo is or where Overwatch is, where it has the competitive aspect, but it can be a party game. It just leans more on a competitive side because we don't really have a lot of access to the party side of DBD. But if they were to add a a separate queue for that, like in Halo, if you can queue up for Infection or King of the Hill or something, then I would say, it's a mix of both. But people have this idea that it's only competitive or it's only party game when it's a mix of both. And there's nothing wrong with that. People would say that, oh, DBD is a party game because they don't like that people play this game in a competitive way or people play to win. But what I have to say to that is that's just PvP game. Like you can't play a PvP game and expect people not to play in the way that they want to win. If you're playing a PvP game and you're mad that someone is playing to win, then you shouldn't play PvP games. That's just how it is. Like every PvP game is going to have an aspect of someone who's playing in a competitive way. Like even a party game like Uno is a party game, but people play that in a competitive way. And my favorite example of a game that is a party game, but people play competitive is Mario Kart. That if you played Mario Kart, you know how serious that shit can get. But it's also a party game. So it's like a mix of both. Like, DBD can be really goofy at times, but it can be really like, intense, which is I think that's the way I see it. I think it's a mix of both, but it leans more on the competitive side. I would like it to lean like be in the middle where we did get custom games like Halo. Because I would love to see crazy like party game stuff. Like if I want to do party games like custom games, I'll go to that mode. If it's casual mode and I wanted to play a bit normal, then I'll just go to the regular queue. Because I would love to see game modes like I don't know something an infection mode that's like Legion, or some type of racing mode that's with Billy, or some type of like hide and seek mode with Rafe or prop hunt. Like that would be cool. That way it could be a mix of both, which I think that's where DBD should be at. I think it should be a party game and a competitive. I don't think it should be at one. And I also don't think they should add a rank mode because a rank mode will split the community and you will get nothing for it. I think if they were to do a competitive mode, they should make it in a way where it's you at least get something for it. But right now DBD doesn't have that where you get the blood points for getting eerie, but that's whatever. Um like that reminds me of something in Final Fantasy 14. There's PvP, but it's really bad in that game. Like MMO PvP is usually bad. But you could play rank mode to get some awards. So at least the rank mode in that game you get something. And I think if they were to do a rank mode, you would have to get something really good, like a hidden cosmetic or something, like a special cosmetic or something. That I would be okay with. If they did a comp mode or a ranked mode, I should say, they would have to give you a good reward that isn't just something lame. But that's my thoughts on it. I think it's a mix of both. It just leans more competitive because it's just the nature of how people work and how people play the game. You can't just say it's a party game because you want it to be a party game. Realistically, it is a competitive game because it just the state of it, like how the state of it is right now. And I think like the thing with balance in this game, I think you should balance the game in a way that leans more competitive because you can't have things be too broken because if you don't balance the game around being like kind of normal-ish, then it breaks apart. You don't want the game to break apart because it would just be too stupid. So you need to have some balance that works well for the PvP nature. Because we could still have ODS to keep it, stupid and goofy. But you don't want that in a game like this. Like I wouldn't want that. Like I still want it to be kind of goofy and stuff, but there needs to be some aspects where things, are not dumb. So that's my thoughts on it. I want to see what you guys think and peace out.